Brian Wheeler, Antonio Harvey, and Trailblazers Courtside, joined now by the outstanding head coach of the Trailblazers. 151 victories to his credit now in 4 years as the Blazers head man. That would, of course, be head coach Terry Stotts. Coach, disappointed that we don't have you in studio, as I know we often like to see you, but it was great seeing you a lot over the weekend, especially with the 2 fine wins to reflect back on.
I just want to start this out with, the weather outside is frightful.
That was your song.
No, mine was
White Christmas. That's right. Yeah. White.
I can easily confused. You know what? I would love to be in studio with you guys, but as much as we've seen each other over the month of December,
yes,
and I haven't seen my wife that much, I think
that's a good call.
It's all good.
And she's prettier than we are.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think
Let's just leave it at
there's
that.
no debate on that one. As you look back at the 2 wins, though, different achieved in a different way. Defending Eastern Conference champs come in on Saturday night, and your club blitzes them from the get-go and never lets up, which is a hard thing to do in this league since it seems like it's a game of runs most nights. And then last night going into Sacramento, they hadn't played since before Christmas, coming off a great road trip, feeling good about themselves, and your guys found a way to battle through, and for the first time this season, winning a game when scoring less than 100. But so 2 nice wins and achieved in some ways in different manners, but great defense, I thought, the entire weekend.
Well, I was going to say that I thought the common thread was our defense was very good in both games, and we've struggled defensively over the last couple of weeks, and to come out of the Christmas break with 2 good defensive wins was something to build on. And you mentioned the fact that it was our first game of winning a game and not scoring 100 points. I think that was significant for us. To win a game shooting under 45% is significant for us. So it's something that we can build on. There were a lot of positives at both ends of the court. Obviously last night CJ was very effective offensively. I thought Myers has strung together a few good offensive games, and last night being the best of those games. So, hopefully we'll get Dame back soon and be able to build on this a little bit of momentum that we have.
Coach, those 2 guys that you just mentioned, CJ and Myers, are obviously integral parts, but it also seems like guys like Alan Crabb and Maurice Harkless are also trying to figure out a way to impact the game. And we see a picture of Gerald Henderson coming from behind and getting a block. It just seems like everybody is playing in a good rhythm right now.
Well, they are, and I was really glad to see Mo have a game for us last night. He ran the court well, he rebounded the ball well, got offensive opportunities that came to him. He's not a guy that I run a lot of plays for, but he took advantage of the opportunities that were there. And Alan Crabb has just been solid for us over the last. I think I read he's scored more points in December than he did in his first 2 years. So he's in a good rhythm. I'm glad he was able to shake off that little tweak of the ankle last night and come back and play. So, like I said, there are a lot of positives. Certainly, there's always room for improvement, but it's good to bounce back from a road trip that we had where, it was pretty deflating, and the way we ended it in New Orleans, it was good to bounce back with 2 great wins.
What kind of solace do you take when you look at the standings and see that other than the Lakers, nobody else has played more road games in the entire NBA than your guys have, and you'll have 3 more to add to that total by the end of this week. So you're going to start the calendar year essentially with more than half of your road games already completed. Well,
we knew November and December were going to be tough in terms of road games, and I think what you said, 21 road games before January. So it comes back. Being at home doesn't guarantee anything, but it certainly is an advantage for us to get our rest, play in front of our crowd, which is great. The feeling in Moda Center was against Cleveland was a great ambiance. The fans were into it, and it's certainly an advantage to have those home games. We just have to make sure that we're up to the task.
Coach, coming into the season, I'm sure you guys look at the roster, look at what's happening around the league, and you kind of picture in your mind what your expectations are, not necessarily wins and losses, but as we said before, the development of the team overall. Are you happy with where the team is compared to where you started the season?
Well, Yes and no. I mean, because there's obviously a lot of work to go, and I think that's better answered at the end of the season. But I think we're going in the right direction. I think everybody who's playing is a young player, and they're getting opportunity to play and improve. And I think one thing that's been probably displayed more than anything else is that CJ and Alan Crabb have improved and didn't get to play much their first 2 years. So the fact that players can improve without necessarily getting on the floor is important to recognize. But I think everybody, when you look down the roster, they're getting an opportunity to play, and they're having an opportunity to improve. And to answer your question briefly would be to say I think we're going in the right direction, but we're not there yet.
I won't ask you to comment specifically on these two situations because
one's Phoenix, right?
Well, one is Phoenix, one is Houston, of course. and
you love this. I tell you what.
But I like to ask you generic questions that kind of have a way of
generic questions that relate directly to the opposition. But
no, I won't ask you. As I say, I won't ask you to comment. But I mean, we know Kevin McHale lost his job in Houston after taking the Rockets to the Western Conference Finals last year. Jeff Hornacek, who knows what's going to happen with his future, but he's lost 2 members of his staff, and there's meetings going on without him present. But I guess, you've been with a couple of other organizations. How much is it critical, and I'm not sure people even understand this part of it, for a head coach to be successful in the NBA? How much is it critical to have the support and have everybody on the same page, from ownership to the front office to what happens with the coaching staff? How much is that? It almost seems like a team can't be successful if everybody's not on the same page.
Well, it goes hand in hand, and I think what you find is obviously it's very volatile and things can change. And whether it's coaches, players, management, is when there's adversity, when things aren't going well, it's difficult to maintain that because everybody's searching and everybody's kind of looking. Everybody has the best interest of the franchise, but when things aren't going well, that's when it's tested. I mean, you look at obviously San Antonio is the pillar of or the model of a franchise, and obviously everybody's on the same page. And you look at Miami and teams that have had success, they've had that everyone's on the same page, but they haven't necessarily had a lot of adversity to confront. And those are the times that are trying for any organization, and it's trying for the players, coaches, management, ownership. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to do what's in the best interest of the franchise. So the one thing I will say, and I've always said, is that you really don't know what's going on within a franchise. Everybody within that franchise is doing what they think is best, and I think it's very difficult to speculate and opine about whether they're doing is right or wrong because they're not in the mix.
I like the
good generic answer.
I was about so back to what's going on in Rip City right now. Ed Davis missed last night's game. Any speculation on when he may be able to return? I know you guys. Did you have the day off today?
He just said it's tough to speculate in opine. You want him to speculate?
I knew you would like opine. I knew you would like opine. I knew that would get some play.
I do.
It's Ed was, he's noticeably limping last night. Today he felt better. I can't speculate whether he'll be able to play against Denver or not, but he kind of tweaked it to a bruise. But like I said, he is feeling better today. We'll see how it goes.
I thought it was interesting the other night on one of our radio pregames, Coach, that you were talking about, and I'm not sure people even understand what all goes into the decision when a player is injured to bring him back, or the timetable that's assigned to getting him healthy again. And with regard to Damian, we were talking about his situation and how he feels, and you said really that it kind of is something that you stay out of a little bit, that it's almost more something that's done with the training, conditioning staff, the medical folks, and the player. And then when at any point do you step in to have any input, or do you just wait till they come collectively to tell you that said player is ready to return?
I am not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. So, that is completely out of my control. I don't want to have any part of that decision. What I do from my position is that they tell me how he is. If he's limited, I will make my decisions within those limitations. If he's ready to go full bore, then that's fine. I think that's doctors, training staff, and Damien. And all of us need to be on the same page as far as going into a game or practice, and this is how we're going to manage this and go forward. So honestly, it makes it easy for me. I've got so many decisions to make anyway that I'm glad that this is not on my plate. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in Milwaukee, and Michael Redd was coming back from an injury, and he was on a minutes restriction, and we were playing at Indiana, and I had managed his minutes, so he played the last 5 minutes of the game. He was right at the number, whatever it was, and the game went to overtime. And I had our trainer call the doctor in Milwaukee because we were at Indiana. I said, call him and let me know, because if he says play him, okay. If not, okay. But I am not going to make a decision if the limitation is at 30 minutes. He's going to be at 30 minutes, and I think there's a definite line of demarcation there.
Did you win the game? Did he play?
No, he did play. Actually, we called. He said, "Go ahead, let him play." The doctor was watching the game and said, "We need him. We need him out there. Let him play." And he did play, and we lost the game. As a matter of fact, it was against Rick Carlisle in Indiana.
Wow.
Do you ever miss the days, Coach, when you could just say, "Hey, rub some liniment on it, shoot him with some cortisone, and put him back out there on the court"?
No.
Oh, you know what's funny is I laugh with older guys all the time because they always talk about how tough they are. And, when I played, we did it this way and we did it that way. And then I go to shake his hand and his pinky finger is pointing the wrong direction. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah.
Yeah, some changes have been for the better.
Now, that being said, would you care to speculate and opine as to when Dame might come back? I know he's said that Wednesday might be possible, but I guess seeing what the club was able to accomplish the last couple of games probably erases any urgency if he was feeling any to come back. But I like the approach that he's taken, basically saying that at this point in the season there seems to be no sense in coming back unless he's 100%, because this is obviously an injury that can linger if you don't take care of it from the get-go.
Dame wants to play, and I think it's I don't know if he's going to play against Denver or not. And, when he first got hurt, he was hoping that he would be able to come back for Cleveland, and obviously that didn't happen. So I don't know. I think I wouldn't want to speculate whether he's going to come back or not. He's hopeful to come back as soon as he can, but it may be Denver, it may be Utah, it may be after New Year's. Who knows? Right now it's a little early to say.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask real quick. Your next opponent, Denver Nuggets, Will Barton, former Trailblazer, is absolutely lighting it up right now. And we had a chance to see Will grow as an NBA player, but also as a person. He's the kind of guy that even if you just have to cheer for him, it seems like he's just a good dude. And I know I'm extremely happy that he's playing well.
I really am, too. I don't know if you remember this, but after I think my second year here, someone asked me about, the roster and who made the most growth. And really, in my time in coaching, I haven't seen a player mature both as a person and as a player as much as Will did in his time here in Portland. He came out, he's disappointed that he wasn't a first-round pick, and it took some time to adjust, but he worked hard. He had incredible belief in himself. But he became a professional and became a hard worker. And I think what you see him doing now in Denver is a result of all the hard work that he put in, not only by himself, but with our assistant coaches. Dale Osborne spent a lot of time talking with him about being a pro and doing it the right way. And Will listened, and the jump that he made, particularly from year one to year two, was really impressive to watch.
Coach, thank you for the time. Go spend some quality moments with the lovely Jan, and we'll find a way to work opine into the pregame radio interview on Wednesday?
Well, you've gotten it in 3 times since I said it.
Shows you how much I like it.
Hey, remind Bunker and Danforth that I'm on with them tomorrow morning. Sometimes they forget.
Yeah, they're taking it a little personal. They wondered if maybe you didn't come into studio because they're here, but I tried to tell them I think the two situations are unrelated.
All right.
Coach, thanks for the time. Have a great night.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
The one and only Terry Stotts. Good man, wonderful coach as well. Blazers are fortunate to have him, that's for sure.